Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Tuesday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, here with you for your lunch break, and glad to have you here on the program. Our program brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lade Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J. Smith Construction. Four fine, great corporate partners here on the program. A ton to get through today here. We'd love to hear from you if you'd like to call us. The phone number is 256-234-6221. You can comment away on Facebook Live, as most of you do throughout our programming as well. You can go to our Sports Blitz page, that's Sports with a Z, and you can comment throughout the entire show. And obviously, big news on tap, carryover from yesterday. Auburn will be taking on Iowa on Thursday in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Randy, it's good to see that Auburn has made the tournament now 4 out of the last 5 years, and or 4 out of the last 5 opportunities to make the tournament with, COVID being.
Would have been 5 out of 6.
That's right. Would have been 5 out of 6.
I mean, look, the team that we didn't have the chance to take to a tourney, SEC tourney and the NCAA tourney, may have been the one peaking the best. I know that's hard to say when you look back at a team that finished 30-10 and went to the Final Four and shot it like we did after getting by that first round game and also winning the SEC championship. But gosh, I can remember working in my yard on a Saturday listening to Auburn play Tennessee. Do you remember this? And Auburn just taking it to Tennessee over there, and this was a good Tennessee squad.
Oh, yeah.
And Samir Dowdy went off, and the team was really peaking at the right time. And it wasn't a crazy talented team, but it was enough with Isaac Okoro and Samir Dowdy and some of those others that had started finding their way. And Dowdy was one of those players too, Brett, that you knew was going to be a gamer in crunch time. He kind of had that thing about him, didn't he?
Yeah, and I hate the way his career kind of ended in that year before, or the way that year ended with that foul. It just
could have been called on anybody. If you want to be ticky-tack calling fouls like that, but the effort was there, and the mental capacity to do what he did. I mean,
I know it.
The man pretty much stopped in his place to make sure that he knew that what they were looking for, and
still got the call. But
yep.
Hey, that's part of it. And again, but yeah, you're right. That next year, Auburn was playing its best basketball at the end, heading into the SEC tournament. But we'll never know how that year played out because it got canceled by COVID. But a new opportunity for this team as Auburn heads into the tournament as a 9 seed against Iowa. And I broke down Iowa. We'll talk about them a lot here in this program this morning and kind of the matchups that we'll see. The tournament starts tonight. Southeast Missouri State and Texas A&M Corpus Christi at 5:40. The winner plays Alabama. So Alabama will sit there and wait on that winner. Also, Mississippi State will be in action. Pittsburgh versus Mississippi State at 8:10. Tonight. So, Mississippi State, that's that 11-11 play-in game. Auburn could have easily been in one of those. It was very close, I thought, to Auburn maybe being one of those 11 seeds. But Pitt, Mississippi State favored by 2.5, a decent Pitt team. It should be a good game. This is these 11-11s, tomorrow you'll have Nevada, Arizona State at 8:10 as the 11-11. This will be 2 pretty good games to get it started.
Could so easily be us in a matchup like this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know we get the 9 seed, but if you were to go down through these 11 seeds and then find the first 4 out, and you try to weigh all of our records together and you try to say, well, which one deserved to be in? And, why did this team not get in compared to this one? You take that Clemson and NC State matchup and you watch that throughout the year and you realize one of those 2 teams won 3 games in head-to-head matchups. The schedules look pretty equal, and yet the opposition that lost all 3 games, losing by 28 in the final one, gets in and the other doesn't. It's an odd back and forth that you can have on a lot of different teams. But here's the key, Brett. I look at us at Auburn. I see us as a 9. I like our matchup. And then I'm not too upset about our matchup with the 1. So these 2 11-11s, these are teams that if they make it through and they end up with a good matchup moving forward and any of them made it into the Sweet 16, it wouldn't be a shock at all.
No, I'm with you. I think this Mississippi State team is a very, very capable team of winning 2 or 3 games in this tournament. Pittsburgh, the same. Then you look over at Nevada and Arizona State. Arizona State tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Again, 2 teams that have had pretty good years, garnered an 11 seed, and, we could see them moving on. But Fair Dickinson, have you ever heard of them?
Fairleigh Dickinson, yeah.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah.
We'll take on Texas Southern tomorrow at 5:40. That's the other 16.
Now, the only reason I would have recognized that name is because this has to not be the first time they've made it in. They've had, you could think back to Austin Peay.
Right.
I can keep reeling off some, back in the day it was the first time. Now they've gotten used to it. But Murray State, I was like, who in the world is that? 25 years ago. But now you look, and some of these teams have made it back. George Mason.
Yeah,
Would you have known of a George Mason before they made the run?
Made a Final Four run.
Sure did.
Made it to the Final Four. So you look at those games. Those games get started today and tomorrow. So you got 2 days left to get your bracket in. It's a good time for us to plug our contest right now. We have a bracket challenge going on with our Sports Blitz group, and it's out there on our Facebook page. So many of you are friends with us on Facebook. Please spread it. It's unlimited. It's free. We're going to have prizes that we're going to give to the winners of the tournament. So it's exciting time. I know you're filling out a bracket anyway. Most of you that love sports, even people that don't really care about sports, you end up filling out a bracket.
Fill out multiple.
I do. Fill out a bunch of them.
It's kind of like fantasy. The friends of mine that play fantasy, if they play fantasy baseball,
they're in multiple leagues.
They play in 3 or 4 different leagues, and it's kind of their hobby. It's like you and your memorabilia.
Right.
It's kind of the thing that you go to, and if you happen to make some money doing something that's a hobby of yours anyway, kind of like fishing too.
That's right.
If you happen to go to a tournament and you win it, but a lot of people just love fantasy sports and love doing things
huge.
Like this. It's
fantasy
massive.
Sports is a multi-billion-dollar business.
And I can understand why. I really can.
It's really unbelievable.
If I were to ever allow myself to get into it, I know that I would enjoy it.
You'd love it. I mean, as analytically minded as you are and like to get into numbers and follow these players and being able to sub in and out and start guys, and it gets addictive. I haven't played like NFL fantasy in a few years, but I got into it really hard a few years ago, and, man, it is fun. It really – people that aren't as big a pro fans, it makes you a pro fan.
It gives you a reason to watch.
Gives you a reason to watch.
I did realize that. I did it for a couple of years, and it made I understand why people get so passionate about gambling. Because if you're looking for a hobby, yes, you want to make money, but I honestly think that half of the people that gamble is because they want to have an interest in something that it's very hard for them to sit there and watch fully all in unless they've got money on the game. I've heard of gamblers that are like that. Like, I can't watch it. But I want to sit around and keep up with it on a Sunday. So, I'm going to throw some money out there. It's not going to be, some people throw money out there that hurts them, but a lot of people don't throw money that hurts them.
Yeah,
and it keeps them intrigued in the game.
Yeah, they're able to stay disciplined enough, that they don't go crazy and, they double down on a big loss.
Now, I've had some friends that did.
And they double down again. Yeah, we all know some. I mean, we definitely do. But, they keep throwing that money on top, and all they keep doing is digging a bigger hole. That's what you don't want to do. But, again, let's start off with this Iowa team. Auburn, Iowa on Thursday at 5:50. First of all, again, like we said, very fortunate to draw Birmingham as a regional spot to be able to have, if you win that first game, your first 2 games right here in your backyard. And you can look at ticket prices, Alabama being there, Auburn being there. This is a major win for the city of Birmingham, first of all. Our good friends over at Night Edie, Chris Nix, we were in a text thread this morning with him, and I know they'll have us a few spots saved down there on press row, and not really. This isn't the finals with AHSAA, but they're working hard, and they've done a really good job of in conjunction with the city of Birmingham being able to get things to the point where they can host this. And you go back 5 years ago. at the master plan for downtown Birmingham in that area, and and you got to give a lot of credit to Mayor Woodfin and that city council and everybody that was involved in saying they took a lot of heat. You know, people said Birmingham's dead, that area's dead, you need to leave it alone, and he said we're going to invest, we're going to reinvest in the city. And we're going to see the benefits. Well, he caught a lot of flack for that because it was a lot of money to renovate Legacy Arena. It was a lot of money to go build protective stadium. It was a lot of money to bring Top Golf and all those restaurants in the Uptown District down there. But now that it's all played out, Randy, that is a cool place to be. And you and I go up there every year, especially with the AHSAA. And he kind of posted something yesterday. He goes, Look at the benefits of all this from 5 years ago to now, and he basically was throwing it back in people's faces, the naysayers, saying, look, we got Alabama, Auburn, UAB still in town. You got all this going on right here in the city of Birmingham.
You can't say enough good things personally about that. You know, you and I have had the good fortune, I don't know if you call it the good fortune, but I've served on a lot of committees, sporting committees out there with the state that talk about, you know, facilities, and you build it and they will come, and tourism dollars that follow tournaments and other things like that. Well, some communities, like Sand Mountain for one, they've gone out there and they've spent $100 million on a facility that is state-of-the-art. It's unbelievable. If you haven't been there, please go. And those of you that are listening around the state that have, you know, I was so taken back when we went there the first time. I'm like, how did they have the foresight to build something like this? Now, this is a little bit bigger overall development, but for the city of Birmingham, you can either sit back and be looked at as a once was,
right,
or you can become somebody that has a future and is in the game.
And they're in the game.
I'm proud to say that it's clear that they're now back in the game, and the mayor, if I were him, I'd be standing up on every corner screaming and yelling and calling this a win for him and the whole
it's a massive
community.
Win. Absolutely. You know, Legion Field was dying and dead, needed a new stadium. They got the backing to get that one done downtown. Now UAB's got a beautiful facility. USFL's back in Birmingham. They get the Super 7 now in rotation back to Birmingham. A lot of great things in the last 5 years. Up against our first break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. Just getting started, really. Got 45 more minutes left in today's show. Kyle comes in and says, I think Auburn got the worst of the number 1 seeds. If Auburn can get past Iowa, I think they have a legit shot to get the Sweet 16. Look, man, you get to the round of 32, you just one win away. I mean, you're there. So you got to win a couple games in the NCAA tournament to make it to the Sweet 16. How can you not like your chances being in your backyard where basically this thing's been a hard sellout? Tickets are going like crazy. You know, Alabama and Auburn fans gobbled all of them up. It's going to be a great shot for Auburn against Houston if they can get past Iowa.
Definitely is. And, you know, Brett, you went on, and within an hour or two, everything was gone. It tells you that people were prepared and ready to go in and had that credit card handy and went in, and they got those sessions taken care of. But it'll be crimson and orange and blue all in that place. And it's a beautiful venue. You and I spent a majority of a couple of weeks ago in there. It's really been revamped. If you haven't been, the BJCC, which is known as the Legacy Arena now, if you haven't been back in a while, it looks different. I've always liked the setting. I've always liked where the floor is. I like the way the fans seem to be semi kind of on top of the action. I know it seats a large number, but Brett, the overall look and the feel of that place is better than it was 5 years ago.
The glass facade outside now when you walk up to the main entrance. I don't know what year it was. We've been calling finals games up there for a long time. But I remember we got there early and on a Monday before the thing started, and they still had, the drop-down scoreboard over the middle of the court. Still had North Carolina, Oklahoma on there. Mm-hmm. I guess that's the first time they turned it on since whoever played. That's how long, and that's been a while. And I don't remember, somebody might know the last time they had a regional game in that arena or whatever. But, I remember sitting there thinking, man, this place is big enough. Why don't they have,
I remember you saying that.
More of that. And then now you look at it, and obviously it was not up to speed. So they had to go in and do some things and revamp to be able to go in and have a bid to be able to get something like this. Now this facility is as nice as any that I've been in. NBA-wise, wherever it is. I've been down to the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. I've been over to Atlanta. I've been to several arenas, and this one is just as nice. The Birmingham Squadron play in that arena. That's the minor league team for the New Orleans Pelicans. So just glad to see it. Beautiful facility, and glad to have the 2 in-state teams sitting there in a regional, whether Kelvin Sampson for Houston likes it or not. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And I don't blame him. He's got a legit gripe. But let's talk about Auburn, Iowa. Auburn comes in at 20-12, Iowa 19-13. Let's look at Iowa's last 4 games in the Big Ten. They finished 11-9, tied for 4th in the Big Ten, but they've lost their last 2. They lost to Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament, 73-69, got knocked out, very similar to us. First game, got knocked out. The time before their last regular season game was against a maligned Nebraska team. They got beat, 81-77. But the 2 games prior to that, very impressive. Indiana, number 15 in the country. At Indiana, they beat them 90-68. So they laid it on Indiana there. And then they had a big win in overtime against Michigan State, 112-106. Those are 2 tournament teams there that they were able to knock out. So 2-2 in their last 4. Very similar record to Auburn, have a very similar feel to Auburn coming into this game.
I tell you, a team that, looking at the size of the players and just the feel of the team that they remind me of, is Missouri. Maybe that's the orange and blue colored glasses that I have on, knowing that I look back and see the way that Auburn played against Missouri. But, their tallest guy is 6'9", does have a little size to him at 230. Also got Chris Murray, who's their leading scorer at 20.4 points per game. He's 6'8", about 220, so he's a lot like Brown is for Missouri. Kind of a bulky, big guy that can play, but they don't have that intimidating force down in the paint. That has given Auburn, and gives really anybody, issues at this point in time. Not the length that we've seen for some of the other teams, but they got 3 good scores. When you got a guy going for 20.4, 14.1, and 12.5, you've got 3 guys that aren't just sitting there right at 10 points. I mean, these 3 guys are going out there and they're getting it. And how do we play defensively there, and how do we match up and play on the perimeter is still the key to any Auburn games, how our guard play is.
I went back and I looked at that Indiana game, and I believe, if I'm correct, Murray had 26, Rebraca had like 18, and Perkins had like 17 or 18. I mean, those 3, if they get it going,
all 3 of them going well.
If they can beat you. So, in the same, again, the similarities to Auburn. If it's only 1 or 2 guys getting it going for Auburn, they're probably not going to win. Auburn's got to have a combination of Janai Broome, Wendell Green, and either Flanagan or Jalen Williams, or both, to give themselves a legit chance. Those are the 4 guys that Auburn has to have good games from. And again, K.D. Johnson's been the X factor. You talked about it yesterday. In the last couple of weeks, he has been able to supplement somebody having an off night like a Williams or a Flanagan or even a Green. He's been able to put in 17 to 20 points a couple of times or a few times here in the last. If Auburn gets consistent 4 to 5 scores, man, this team can make a run. This can be a scary team for anybody to play. But the inconsistency level of Auburn is what has caused them to have the record they have.
I think the issue is, who can you count on to go and do that? Because the problem when you're coaching and you don't know who those guys are, and when 2 or 3 of them really go non-existent in games, how hard that is to coach that. Because you've got to be able to make that decision on the fly. Really quickly, you're going to have to go, okay, Jalen ain't got it tonight. I guess we're going to have to get more in here more. But you don't want to eat up 14 minutes of figuring out that he's not going to have it tonight. And that's, I can't imagine being in the shoes. You'd rather just know, like Iowa's got here, that you got a 3-headed monster, and they got to go get theirs, and we're going to get the minutes for them 3. And we're going to see if we can supplement some others. But right now for Auburn, we don't know who the heck those guys are night in and night out.
Like throwing them in a hat, pulling a name out. You just don't know which one's going to have a night. But I think for Auburn to have a decent run in the tournament, they're going to have 4 guys poured in.
Yeah.
So up against another break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Kalijah Idol 15 is coming. Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes are on the line. Visit WKGA975.com. It's Kalijah Idol 15.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab, discounted up to $9,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our program, brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, saving you thousands of dollars on your refinancing out there. If you need to finance a home, or if you just need advice, you need to go talk to Mortgage Pro Eric McKinley team, and they will help you out with that. And again, they do save people thousands of dollars by changing their mortgage rate. Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, a top-notch real estate group that helps you find the perfect property for you, whether it be in town, whether it be on the lake, whether it be a second home, whether it be somewhere down on the coast. Call them Big Fish Real Estate Group. They'll help you with that property. Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores with 10 locations throughout central Alabama, providing all your hardware, all your home improvement needs, all your building materials and supplies. They beat the big box stores. So make sure you try Russell Do It Center for your next project, home improvement, whatever it is that you have going on. And J.A. Smith Construction, residential and commercial, they get it done. No job's too small or too big. They will help you out with your construction project. So make sure you check out J.A. Smith Construction there. Randy Kelvin Sampson not thrilled about Auburn, about the potential matchup with Auburn in the second round. For this matter, he said, and I didn't put this on here, but he said, first of all, congratulations to every team that made the tournament. He said we don't really stop long enough to talk about how hard it is to make this tournament and how many things have to go right for you as a team. He said, so from 1 all the way down to team 68 in the tournament. He said, congratulations. He said, we deserved a number 1 seed. We're glad we earned it. He said, Auburn as a 9 seed gets to play in their backyard. He said, maybe we should have been a 9 seed and we'd have gotten to stay a little bit closer to home. But hey, look, if Houston is able to make the run, they'll play for a national championship in their home city.
They are at home.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, it's almost comical.
It is. But I think he was kind of being funny about it. But what he said it's going to be a true road game for us if it plays out like this. And they understand it's going to be a tough one in the second round.
It will be. Now the question is, can we take advantage of that? This Auburn team has had a lot of opportunities this year to take the next step, to become a team that you consider a team that is quality enough to go out there and do something special. You watch what we did over at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, and you see a team that's up by 17 on the number 1 overall seed in the tournament at their place, our key rival, and we can't hold on. So we've had our chances. But my gosh, you can't get a better chance than we got right here. You're practically at home. You're in a rabid fan base, in a basketball program that the fans have become excessively passionate about. I couldn't believe what I saw in Nashville, Brett. I had the good fortune of being in that facility and to see with my own eyes how many Auburn fans ate that building up. I mean, the Vandy fans were totally upset with what they saw, and it was for good reason. But can we do that in Birmingham? I hope. I just hope we play a little bit better than we did in Vandy that night. Yeah,
definitely so. So let's look at this Iowa game real quick, and then we'll move on to top games to watch in the first round. I think that's always important, maybe some potential upsets in the first round. I like Auburn's chances in this game. I really do. Again, being in the venue, looking at what Iowa's got, they're not overbearing. They're not anybody that's going to that you come in here and go, man, that is not a good matchup for us. We're going to have to play out of our mind to have a shot. I like the matchup.
Remind me a lot of us. Yep. It's a team that you look down at the scores and you watch what they did on the road at Indiana. That's an Indiana squad that can really do some damage, and a lot of people think that they've got a chance to make a deep run in this tournament if you listen into the prognosticators. But it's also a team that can lose a game like they did against Nebraska. And you go, what in the world? Are they real or are they not? And so they resemble exactly what we get, and that's a good matchup for an 8-9. You're at a team that can be great, but at times cannot be so great. And so I think they got this one right, and it is a really good matchup. I don't know who I favor. If I look at both of them, the good thing for Auburn, though, is it's an 8-9 matchup. It's probably 50-50.
Auburn's a 1-point favorite in this game.
And that 1 point comes from it being in Birmingham.
That's exactly right.
Period. If this thing was in
Des Moines,
Iowa, it would be Iowa by 3. That's about where I feel with it.
Yeah, and that's exactly way it plays out. All right, so let's talk about some of these top games to watch. And the first one that pops up for me is West Virginia, Maryland. That'll be Alabama's one of these two will be Alabama's second-round opponent. This will be in Birmingham as well. Not only does Birmingham have Alabama and Auburn, they got some good teams in this thing. I mean, this West Virginia, Maryland 8-9 seed game may be the top 8-9 seed game, and that's saying with Auburn and Iowa being in the building too.
Well, the brand of basketball that both play could possibly be an issue for Alabama. I mean, West Virginia under Huggins wants to play rough and tumble. They want to be, kind of in your face and play that defensive-minded brand of basketball. But I don't know. West Virginia could also go out there and make an argument they didn't deserve to be in the tournament. I mean, just like you can just about every 8 and 9 seeded game. So I haven't watched enough of either. I did see Auburn play West Virginia earlier in the year.
They got off to a big start against
Auburn. So I saw that, and I kind of see what they'll be dealing with there. But for the most part, I haven't seen Maryland much, but I know what kind of basketball they normally play, Brett. So, yeah, it'll be a good one. But I think all the 8-9 seed games are good ones.
If you could ever have a split right down the middle, ESPN Matchup Predictor has West Virginia at 49%, Maryland at 51%, but they have West Virginia favored by 2. So this is going to be a good game to watch. Again, look at how both teams play. This is a tough potential round 2 game for Alabama. In their home building, let's be honest about it. But that will be a tough one to watch there. These games that I'm talking about are going to be on Thursday, and we'll get to the Friday games coming up. I think one that you need to watch, also a team that had high praise throughout the year, another opponent for Auburn, was Northwestern. Northwestern with a 21-11 record. They get a 7 seed. They'll take on a 24-9 Boise State team. This could be a good first-round matchup. I would not be surprised. Boise State actually on the matchup predictor has the edge over Northwestern.
How long has it been since Boise State put a team in the tournament? Can you remember the last?
I don't remember. But I think this is a good – there's a lot of upsets in this 10-7 round.
12-5s. You get in any of these matchups, you can definitely get 11-6s. Because you can have an argument both ways. Most of the time, once you get into those top 4 seeds, they've earned those.
Penn State, Texas A&M, 10-7.
Ooh, I would so much favor Texas A&M in that one, but Penn State, I watched them play Purdue in that championship game, and they had no quit in them when they got behind.
Yep. So come back. We'll talk some more about these games in the first round and talk some Auburn football when we come back. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. Going to get to some of these comments. John said can't speak to the outcome, but Bruce will have AU ready, and they have had some rest. He said, he leaned certainly to AU. So which team got in the tournament at 17-17? I don't have the records up in front of me, John, right now, but we've seen some bad records. I mean, we just kind of went through, and West Virginia doesn't have all that great a record. I mean, what are they, 19-14? So I don't know. It could be a 17-17. Could possibly be a tournament champion, conference tournament.
Definitely
champion.
Could be. I would be surprised if it was someone.
Didn't Georgia get in that year with a losing record? They won the SEC tournament.
They did,
and then they had a losing record, and they got in. So it happens.
It is what it is. I mean, yeah, and I like that it's an automatic qualifier. I like that it brings more value to the SEC or any other conference tournament.
Yeah, and they've had that in there forever, and I don't think that's going to change. All right, let's look at the SEC schedule. We talked about some of those first-round games to watch. I did say, I don't know if I said it on the air or not, but Providence, Kentucky is going to be one to watch. Kentucky went out in the first round last year. Wouldn't be shocked. But let's talk about this SEC schedule. Most of the games will be on Thursday. That Providence-Kentucky game will be on Friday. But let's start with Tuesday's playing game, Pittsburgh versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State get through?
I think they're a lot like what we'll see with Auburn and Iowa. I think you can go both ways, and when you've got two 11s, you got two equal matchups from a seeding standpoint. Who knows? Unfortunately, when you get down this low where Auburn is, they're just like us. Who plays well? Do they have a guard that shoots it well? It's impossible to sit up here and make a true guesstimate when you've got two teams that I don't think either one of them much better than the other.
All right, you got Utah State and Missouri. That's a 10-7 matchup. Utah State's favored by 1.5. I'm going to ride with Missouri on that. I think Missouri has been playing really good basketball. Again, you and I don't watch Utah State. We don't watch some of these other teams as much as we see, but we know how tough the SEC's been. We know how good Missouri's played coming down the stretch. The head coach just got an extension. And so, look, I'm going to ride Missouri. I think they're playing good basketball. I think they earned their 7 seed, and I think they'll move on.
I agree. I like the way that they play. It's hard for me to get out of my mind the way that I saw Auburn take it to them. But Auburn's had those moments throughout the year, especially at home. When we get things rolling, we can look really, really good. And even on the road, if you remember that Mississippi State game on the road where Auburn got it going, and you saw Wendell Green score 24, 25 points. And when that guy does that and gets everybody else involved, Auburn can look really good. So, yes, but I do like Missouri in this.
I do too. Alabama waits on the 16 play-in game, Southeast Missouri State and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They'll move on, obviously, there. Illinois versus Arkansas. Now, this is a very interesting 9-8 matchup as well, like we just talked about. Arkansas, the 8 seed here. Arkansas, slight favorite by 2 over Illinois. Illinois 20-12, Arkansas 20-13. Arkansas been a little shaky coming down the stretch. I know they beat us in the SEC tournament, had a decent lead, gave that lead up with 40 seconds to go, and then they were able to hit a big shot right there at the end to win it. But you think Arkansas can get past Illinois?
I do. I think, you know, their guard plays good enough, and you always hear the tournament plays made by guards, and guards can make the plays at the end to win it. And Arkansas proved that against Auburn, whereas Auburn had their chances to come down with their guards and knock down a shot to win it. Arkansas did, we didn't. Does that play out? And does it play out the way that it has for Arkansas the last couple of tournaments, where they've made Elite Eights and have made deep runs, deeper than anybody else in the SEC in consecutive years?
This game's interesting to me. A 13-4 Louisiana with a 26-7 record, playing a Tennessee team without one of their best players. You know, Tennessee's an 11-point favorite in this game. I mean, again, the media has loved Tennessee all year. Tennessee, to me, underachieved based on where they were projected to finish, and they continue to get love. They got love from the committee, got a 4 seed. They played a pretty good Louisiana team. Again, I know their schedule hasn't been what Tennessee's has been, but you better watch. There's always upsets in the first round, and I'm starring this one as a potential upset.
I don't like Tennessee. You know, Auburn plays well offensively at all. They easily win on the road, and Auburn, I thought, handled Tennessee well at home. That was a big win, probably got us into the tournament. They are who they are. I don't think that that's a very good squad. No. Now, they can prove me wrong, and many out there think that they will prove us wrong. We'll have to wait and see.
I also think they could easily have a bad shooting game and be in a dogfight right there with a game Louisiana team. Penn State versus Texas A&M. Again, this is the last of the Thursday games. This is like you said, a Penn State team. We watched in the tournament play Purdue. Really, really tough. They're 22-13. A&M kind of got the hose on, and we talked about it yesterday with a 7 seed. I think they got in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Mm-hmm. I think Texas A&M takes care of business as a 7 seed. I wouldn't be shocked to see Texas A&M in the Sweet 16.
I wouldn't either. I mean, this is not a bad matchup for them, though. I watched Penn State. They're okay. They're not anything special offensively.
No.
Purdue, they gave Purdue fits, setting up that press late in the ball game, and I think that may be the MO of many teams that match up with Purdue that are a little bit more physically talented, athletically talented than Purdue. They won't be more physically talented because you see what you get in the post with Purdue. But it's a decent Penn State squad, and I think it's a good Texas A&M squad that made it to the championship game, went 15-3, had the second-best record in the SEC in the regular season, had a tough start to the season but ended it well, and I could see A&M going as far as anyone other than Alabama in this tournament from the SEC.
The final SEC first-round game will be Kentucky-Providence. You know, Kentucky 21-11, Providence 21-11. It's an 11-6 matchup. Kentucky lost in the first round last year to a lot lower seed than this. So.
They're like North Carolina. They, for whatever reason, have a decent game, and then they come back and they don't play well. And the more that happens, it becomes who you are. For whatever reason, Kentucky is not that good of a team. I wouldn't be shocked to see them out in the first couple of games this term.
I wouldn't either. If that happens again 2 years in a row, better watch out.
Well, the Boo Birds are already out.
They're already out. So. Final segment of the show coming up next. Stay tuned.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front lines. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Kalijah Idol 15 is coming. Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes are on the line. Visit WKGA975.com. It's Kalijah Idol 15.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Final segment of the program. John had asked which team got in with a 17-17 record. I never found one. I found Texas Southern with a 14-19 record,
which is worse,
which is terrible. Yeah. But they're in the 16 game. They're in the 16 playing game. So
by winning their conference,
tournament. So that's just part of it. But I didn't see. If I overlooked it, somebody let me know. Out there, final segment of the program. Let's talk some Auburn spring football. Back in action yesterday, their 4th practice of 15. Again, before we talk about what went on in practice yesterday, the first thing that stood out was Auburn had a top recruit there watching practice. I mean, do you remember hearing anything about that last few years?
Well, it's because we didn't do it. I mean, I don't even bring it up. I mean, what that guy did for a couple of years is
nothing.
Should be sued.
I mean, I told you where I went with it. I'm not going back down this road because we only have a few minutes left in the segment. We got a lot to get to. But I'm telling you, I'd have just tied it up in court. I wouldn't have paid him $20 million. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, he didn't do anything. He didn't do his job. I mean, he literally just kind of let's let that one go. Okay. 4-star Camarion Franklin out of Mississippi, the #1 player in the state of Mississippi, #5 defensive lineman in the 2024 class, already has 30 offers from everybody you'd think. 6'5", 265 pounds. He frees through channels. He can't really openly talk about recruits, but basically said, and this guy's a priority for us.
Well, the state of Mississippi has produced some dynamic, some outstanding defensive linemen.
Really
I go back to some Fletcher Coxes and some Chris Joneses, and I can keep
right
going
now
down the list of ones that you and I have had the fortune of calling Alabama-Mississippi All-Star games, and they get the Bows and Joes over in the state of Mississippi to equal up to what we get here in the state of Alabama a lot of times, don't they?
They do, and this is another one. And again, Auburn usually does really well in the state of Mississippi, and of course Hugh Freeze with his background over there.
And heck, the state of Mississippi does great over here in the state of Alabama.
They do.
You think of Mississippi State and what they've pulled in over the last 10 years from the state of Alabama, Brett. Many years you and I have looked at one another and go, well, why in the world would we let him get out of state?
I know. Well, that just tells you a lot of talent in both states.
Sure.
A lot to go around. Some notes here. Quarterbacks will continue to rotate with each group, so you can't really read into who's taking first-string snaps today versus tomorrow versus the next day. The thing that Hugh Freeze talked about in his press conference yesterday is alignment, assignment, and effort. He said all three of these have to be consistent all the time before I have an idea to know if we're getting better or not. And he said, and we're not there yet. And he said, we're not aligning up right. We heard Coach Grider talk about it this year with us when we talked with him a lot. And he said 90% of the battle's lining up correctly, especially on defense. He said if you can get lined up correctly, usually, it kind of takes care of itself. But he said if you're out of line, he said, and you leave an area exposed, somebody hits that gap and they're gone. Lining up is extremely crucial, and I think that's what Hugh Freeze is really working on with this group in these 15 practices. He said, we got to get these basics down.
Well, you can put in all kinds of systems, and you can make it as intricate as you possibly would want on the offensive side, and I think Hugh Freeze can coach them up on the offensive side as well as anyone, and his numbers have proven that. But if you can't count on the guys being in the right spot and knowing what they're doing when they're in that spot, then you're beating a dead horse. And I think that Hugh Freeze has not been as good as he has coaching offensive football by not being good at this.
No doubt. He said he wants effort on every snap, not just here and there. He said it's got to be.
Well, he's got to have depth to pull that off. You can say that I want effort on every snap, but if you're a lot better than your backup, then you have no worries that at times you can kind of coast through and you still may be better than the backup.
Right.
So the more that he's out there doing what he's doing with the recruiting and getting these great athletes in here where they want to be at Auburn and they want to compete at Auburn, that's the beauty of what Alabama's done over the years. Look, if you want to go somewhere else, you're a 5-star receiver. Alabama lost one of the top receivers in the country last year, before the season, if you remember.
Right.
Decided he's going to transfer. Did you hear anybody talk about it? They ain't talk about that. You know why? Because they got about a dozen of them sitting over there, and they can bring some others in. I truly believe Hugh Freeze is going to do that. He's going to provide some depth and some competition that we haven't been provided, especially on the lines of scrimmage the last few years.
All right, some notes from limited viewing from some of the beat writers from Auburn, Zach Blackerby, Jason Caldwell, some of those guys that were there. Finley ran with the first team most of the time yesterday in that opening group. Jacquez Hunter was the running back. Cam Brown, Javaris Johnson, and Nick Martiner ran first team on wide receiver. Here was the offensive line in that first group. Dylan Wade, Jeremiah Wright, Avery Jones, Tate Johnson, and Gunnar Britton. It's a decent-looking offensive line. Auburn's going to look different up front. Tyler Fromm was the tight end there with that group. Second group, Robbie Ashford was the quarterback. Austin was the running back. Wide receivers were Malcolm Johnson and Coy Moore. Offensive linemen were Garner Langlow, Colby Smith, Connor Liu, E.J. Harrison, and Xavion Miller. Luke Dill was the tight end. Here's some notes here. Inconsistencies in the quarterbacks throwing the football.
Heard it all year last year. Same thing. Same guys throwing it, though.
Guys that stood out, Martiner and Dawson looked the best at wide receiver. Also, Brown had some good balls yesterday, had a couple deep balls that he was able to catch. He's a big, long, lanky, deep threat. Auburn's looking for somebody to take the top off defenses. It might be him.
There is some talent here in the receiving corps, but you got to really almost sell yourself that there's some premier talent in this receiving corps. I think he's going to go out and get them because his numbers have proven that he's going to put the ball in receivers' hands where they can get big plays and big yards. But right now he's having to play with what he's got. What he's got's not really one that I can point to and go, that's an all-SEC guy right there.
Yeah, got a lot of proving to do.
Yeah.
A couple notes here as we close out. Auburn baseball back in Plainsman Park tonight against Georgia Tech. Tommy Vale will be on the mound there. So make sure that game will be at 6 o'clock on the SEC Network if you aren't able to make it down there. 8-day schedule for April 8th at 1 o'clock, and then Auburn's first scrimmage coming up this Friday, so we'll know a little bit more after that. So it's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Auburn Blitz. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.